Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Dark Magician Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for post-Battle of Chaos. With the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set, Dark Magician was definitely the main focus of that booster set. Right after that, I would say it would be Blue Eyes, but Dark Magician got new fusion monsters, new main deck monsters, a bunch of new cards to work with the overall Dark Magician support we have, making it for a much more viable and I would say powerful deck altogether, with a ritual monster that also acts as a searcher, a new Timaeus that helps with fusion summonings, all these different cards, and the playstyle to work with Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl all fit together in this deck. I wanted to focus on as pure of a Dark Magician build that I could build, and also if you want to run like any hand traps, additional traps, I can show what cards you can take out for these specific slots when we go through the deck profiles. Let's go ahead and get started. So for the main deck monsters, I'm running 3 Dark Magician, with this being the slot and one of the most important monsters in the deck. It is revolved around a lot of the fusion plays, a lot of the actual summons in the deck, the search power, you name it. You want to run 3 copies of this card. The art is, actually your preference, whatever you want to run, whatever favorite. For sure, just running all the different ones in my build. I think they all definitely do look cool. I think there are even more than this, obviously, that you can run. But it's your standard go-to 2,500 attack point monster. Just searchable and easily special summonable in this deck for that setup. For the effect monsters in the main deck, I run 3 Magician's Rod. When this card is normal summon, you can add 1 spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists Dark Magician in its text. And during your opponent's turn, you can activate a spell or trap card or effect when this card's in your graveyard, except during the damage step, to tribute 1 spellcaster to add this card in your hand, having recycle power to then reuse again the following turn. The main card you'll search out with this card is most of the time Dark Magical Circle, just being able to then reveal 1 Dark Magician or spell or trap additionally from this spell, and then set up the rest of the cards on the top of the deck for additional search. Another one of the 3 ofs, or at least one that I want to run at 3 in the deck, is Magician's Soul. I know this is more of a difficult card for people to get for the deck, so if you don't have Magician's Soul, I am running 1 additional Magician's Robe, just until I get my 3rd copy of this card. And you can do the same if you get Magician's Soul, just fill in the other spot with Magician's Robe. It's more of a defensive card. Magician's Soul is more of your go-to setup card in the deck, being able to send up to 2 spell or traps from your hand and or field to the graveyard to draw that many cards. And if this card's in your hand, you can send 1 level 6 or higher spellcaster from your deck to the graveyard to activate 1 of these effects. You can special summon this card, or you can send this card to the graveyard to special summon 1 Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from your graveyard. More and more setup, you name it, you have all this available to you with this card. Very, very useful to then set up 1 of those spellcasters in the graveyard, being level 6 or higher, and then just being able to summon it back onto the field. I also run 3 Chocolate Magician Girl. We run plenty of spells, so the discard draw set up with the spellcasters in the graveyard once per turn, being able to discard 1 to draw 1 card, and once per turn, if this card's targeted for an attack, you can target 1 spellcaster type monster in your graveyard except for Chocolate Magician Girl, special summon it, then change the attack target to it. So you can set up those cards in the graveyard to be special summoned back into the field with cards like Magician's Soul, and then just have additional draw power, setting up more spellcaster monsters in your graveyard to then go into even more powerful fusion plays by setting up all those spellcasters with cards like Quintet Magician. If you don't want to run Chocolate Magician Girl, this would be the spot I would say to put in your hand trap of choice, whether it be Effect Veiler being a spellcaster type monster like the other Dark Magician cards, or Ash Blossom just being the more preferred hand trap of all of them. For some of the lower numbers for the main deck effect monsters, I also run 2 Apprentice Illusion Magician. This could also be one of the cards sent with your Magician's Soul. You can special summon this card from your hand by discarding 1 card. If it's normal or special summon, you can add 1 Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. And during damage calculation, if your other Dark Spellcaster monster battles an opponent's monster, you can send this card from your hand or face on the field of the graveyard to have it gain 2,000 attack and defense during damage calc only. Very, very good having that option as a power play. It's also the card you can set up with your Magician's Soul, special summoning it onto the field, then giving you a search for a Dark Magician to add to your hand off of this card's own special summon. For one of the newer cards that I run in the deck, I also run 2 Magic Haribo. This is more of a defensive card during the main or battle phase. If you took damage by battle or an opponent's card effect this turn, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon 1 Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from your deck or graveyard. If a face-up spellcaster monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use each effect of Magic Haribo once per turn, so not so much needed in the Haribo deck. It's more meant to be be in the Dark Magician deck, focusing on special summoning Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl out onto the field, but also giving you that recycle power to reuse is definitely what I like. Being able to use each effect once per turn, you can't keep the loop going, but you have that option to then add it back to the reuse again next turn. That's why I'm only running 2, though. It helps just to have be like a hand trap defensive choice option, but it doesn't really help with any of the special summon plays the Dark Magician deck is meant to do. The other spots for some of the 1-ofs that I run one of the new Timaeus, Dragon of Destiny. You can send one spellcaster monster or one spell or trap that specifically lists the card Dark Magician in its text from your hand or phase 1 of the field of the graveyard. Just special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, including a spellcaster monster. You can only use each of the effects of Timaeus, Dragon of Destiny once per turn. This is the card that replaced the actual Eye of Timaeus in the deck, just being a monster that can be special summoned out into the field. If you want to get out any of the Timaeus monsters, they all can be easily summoned out with this card, meeting the requirements for each one just being a dragon monster and then either Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, which I'm also running one additional Dark Magician Girl. It's just easily searchable with plenty of the cards, whether it be Magician's Soul, sent to the graveyard for more setup, and then easily special summoned back onto the field. Also, one Magician of Dark Illusion for the additional special summon resource, being another level 7 monster to then also be able to go into some of the rank 7 Dark Magician plays in the deck also. For the ritual monsters, it's more of the pricey card. I don't even have a copy of it myself yet, but that is Illusion of Chaos. This is your searcher for the ritual monsters. Ideally, you do want to run 3 of it in the deck. You can ritual summon this card with Chaos form. You can reveal this card in your hand, add one Dark Magician or one non-ritual monster that specifically lists the card in its text from your deck to your hand. Then place one card from your hand on the top of your deck. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can return this card to the hand to special summon one Dark Magician from your graveyard, and if you do, negate the activation effect, and you can only use each effect of Illusion of Chaos once per turn. Search power, and even if it's on the field, a card to stop a card effect of your opponent. Like I said, I know it's pretty pricey at the moment, so if you're struggling just to get this card, I am running Magician of Chaos as an added backup, so if you have copies of this card or any of the other Dark Magician ritual monsters, they can always be spot holders until you get this card. I believe it's around, $60 right now. Hopefully, we'll go down at least a bit, but definitely people have high hopes for it to help out the Dark Magician deck altogether. I was thinking of running, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. It's more of a preference card in the deck. If you didn't want to run that as an added option, you can take out the Magician of Dark Illusion for a Red Eyes Black Dragon, because then we would also take out one of the spell spots for Red Eyes Fusion. But for the spells, one of the most important ones in the deck for its search power is Dark Magical Circle. Running 3 of this card, when it's activated, you look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, then reveal one Dark Magician or spell or trap that specifically lists it from among them, add to your hand, and place the remaining cards on the top of your deck in any order. And if Dark Magician is normal or special summon, except during the damage step, you can target one card your opponent controls and banish it. The banish is definitely scary because it's just a harder way to get rid of resources that your opponent can get back. And also, you will at least try to special summon Dark Magician every turn, whether it be on your opponent's turn or your own turn, giving a banish for one card on the field each and every time. Another card that I run, this one will be reprinted, I believe, in the Legendary Duelist Season 3, so making it that much more easy to pull, and that is Soul Servant, a quick play spell. You place one card on the top of your deck from your hand, deck, or graveyard that is Dark Magician, or specifically lists Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl in its text, except for Soul Servant. And during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard to draw cards equal to the number of Palladium monsters, Dark Magician, and or Dark Magician Girl with different names on the field and the graveyard. This draw power comes in handy. It gives you recycle power for cards in your graveyard back to the deck for you to redraw. It's a definite 3-of, just being that draw power that you can use to with other cards that you easily set up in the deck with all your different Dark Magicians. For some of the lower numbers in the deck as well, I run 1 Dark Magic Attack and 1,000 Knives, along with 1 Magician's Salvation. The Destruction power with 1,000 Knives and Dark Magic Attack, and Magician's Salvation being the field spell Searcher to set 1 Eternal Soul directly from your deck. If you didn't want to run 1,000 Knives or Dark Magic Attack, you can add additional copies of Magician's Salvation, just being a very, very good field spell for the normal or special summon of Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl to target one of those monsters for that option with a different name name to get it onto the field for that special summon. I also run one Magicalized Fusion. This is for Quintet Magician for the added option of going into it when we have all the different late game spellcasters in the graveyard. The one Chaos form for actually summoning out Illusion of Chaos. I know a lot of people just like to go for the actual search power with it and not summon it in the deck. If this being the case, you could take out Chaos form, and this can be the Red Eyes Fusion spot. If you were to also place Red Eyes Black Dragon in the deck, taking out the Illusion of Dark Magic for that monster spot for the Red Eyes Black Dragon to use to summon out Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. And lastly, the one Secrets of Dark Magic. It's an additional fusion option along with Timaeus and Magicalized Fusion, and also another ritual option. So if you didn't want to run Chaos form, you still have the one additional play to summon out a ritual Illusion of Chaos in the deck using this quick play spell. And that is it for the spells. We'll now move on to the traps. The best trap is definitely Eternal Soul. Every Dark Magician in your monster zone is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. If this face-up card leaves the field, destroy all monsters your opponent control. You can only use the following effects of Eternal Soul once per turn. You can activate one of these effects to special summon one Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard, or add one Dark Magic attack or 1,000 Knives from your deck to your hand. The special summon comboed with Dark Magical Circle will give you that banish every turn I spoke of. It's a card you definitely do want to try and protect, and also just that much more easily searchable thanks to cards like Magician's Salvation. The other traps I run being searchable with other cards like Dark Magical Circle is Magician's Navigation, with this card being the added option for stopping your opponent's own card effects. If you don't want to run Magician's Navigation, you can always try Infinite Impermanence. Also, the one Magician's Combination can take up the final spot if you want to remove all three just for the Infinite Impermanence option for monster effect negation on the field. But Magician's Navigation also gives you another option to quickly special summon Dark Magician and one level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster from your deck onto the field, giving you resources to then use for your fusion or ritual or Xyz plays. And that is it for the main deck. When I move on to the extra deck, our new fusion monster is Dark Master of Chaos. You need one Dark Magician plus one Chaos or Blackluster Soldier Ritual monster. The Chaos monster that you use in the deck to summon this card out is the Illusion of Chaos, being a card that's easily searchable. If this card is fusion summon, you can target one light or dark monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You contribute one lighter or one dark monster, banish all monsters your opponent controls. If this fusion summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one spell in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Recycle power, a way to just eliminate all the cards on your opponent's field. The light monster, I would say the easiest one to use with this would be the Timaeus, Dragon of Destiny, since it's easily special summonable, getting rid of Dark Magical Circle even to summon it out. With our other fusion monsters being one, the Dark Magicians, another card that will be reprinted in the Legendary Duelist Season 3, so as long as you're patient, this card should be a little more easy to obtain. One Quintet Magician, this is more of the boss monster for 500 attack that you can get out with Magicalized Fusion, being the easiest way to do so. One Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, one Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, and one Amulet Dragon for the additional Timaeus plays, being a dragon monster itself. And for the Xyz plays, I run one Ebon High Magician, one number 11 Big Eye, and one Naruto. I don't have Palladium. Sadly, if you wanted to run that as the other rank 7 Dark Magician monster, you can take out either Big Eye or Naruto. I like Naruto as the rank 6 option with the other Dark Magician Girl and also the Princess Illusion Magician in the deck. Also, one Divine Arsenal Zeus is the additional rank up option for those monsters when they attack. And for the Link monsters, I run one Vert Anaconda, whether it be for Magicalized Fusion, or if you do end up running Red Eyes Fusion for Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, it's always a nice option to run. The one the Dark Charmer Gloomy, being a spellcaster type monster, getting your opponent's resources onto the field, and just counting as another spellcaster for the potential for Quintet Magician's Fusion Summon. And lastly, one Nightmare Phoenix, one Nightmare Unicorn, and one Access Code Talker for the rest of the links. You're really not limited to what you can special summon out in this deck. It all comes down to just what you have available. So being able to go into those link monsters to either destroy some of the cards your opponent may control or just shuffle them back to the deck definitely does pop up more than you'd think. And as for some of the go-to plays, it really relies on just what you open up. You can go for your fusion play if you have the proper spells. Summoning out Dark Magician is a big part of it, so Dark Magical Circle or Magician's Rod will definitely be the cards you still rely on, if not them. Also the newer ones being Magician's Soul for the special summon setup of then being able to tribute, summoning out your Apprentice Illusion Magician, searching out your Dark Magician, and then going with whatever other spells you have in your hand, whether it be Dark Magical Circle to banish the other cards and search out additional ones you may use. Magician's Salvation, setting up the Eternal Soul. All of it comes down to just what you can set up based on what you draw with those cards also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Definitely, I would say some of the more challenging cards to get from Battle of Chaos, but if you're a true Dark Magician fan, I'm definitely going to try and get as many of the cards as I can for the deck, because they definitely are pretty awesome, along with a good amount of the other support that I can't wait to do deck profiles for from the Battle of Chaos set. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.